Hello everyone, this is Sean from stonecasterstudio.com, and we're making this basic how to make stone veneer video. There's all the items that you'll need to be able to make the stones like Jordan is making. There's Jordan. He's been making molds for us for the last 2+ years. Make sure you use all your protective gear, your apron, your goggles, a whole shebang. Make sure you use Vaseline, petroleum jelly at the 99-cent store. It's very cheap, $1 per little canister. Be very generous on your skin. You're actually releasing your skin for whatever concrete or pigments or anything else that gets on it. It won't soak into it. You can just easily wipe it off. Jordan's spraying a mist of water over the mold cavities, and this will help the iron oxide accent pigments grab onto the actual molds themselves even better. And you'll see the results in the end. It's completely worth it. It's just regular water, nothing else mixed in it. It's not a release agent. The accent pigments that we're using comes from Eagle Color and Blending, and if you look at the description below, you'll see how to contact them. They're a direct manufacturer, so you don't have to pay the middleman markup and all that kind of stuff. And John Hodges over there, he's great. Just tell him Stonecaster Studio sent you, and he'll know what to do for you. You just dip your pigment brush into the pigment bags, and you spread the pigments like Jordan's doing in the video, all over the mold cavity, whatever way you want to do it. We didn't have Jordan use a base color, which is the color that goes into the concrete mix through and through, because we wanted you guys to see something in the end, so we'll explain that better. But if you use a base color, say like a brown or whatever, then you'd actually leave some spaces open in the mold cavities, just empty without touching them, so the base color can shine through even more. But in this case, Jordan's not using a base color, so he's covering up all the mold cavities and things. Well, actually, the base color is just regular old gray concrete. And we used a Quikrete number 1004. Yeah, and also make sure you hit up the sides of the mold cavities, because you got to make sure you color your entire stone. And we'll speed it up here. Jordan's just going to go cavity by cavity. He, we didn't tell him how to do it. This is his first time to do it. I mean, I'm instructing him, but he's running free in terms of how he wants to color it and things like that, because it's all personal preference. However you want to color it, it's going to be the way you're going to color it, and the way you put it in the molds is the way it's going to come out. You'll see. See right here, he's going to add two different colors, black and brown, with a little bit of a seam, and just make sure you rub that seam so it doesn't look so pronounced. And the more pronounced the seams look, the more artificial the stones look. And so just go through, color them, make sure he's hitting up the sides to get the pigments in the entire cavity all the way around. And if you see your water's drying, you can spray a little more water in it, but Jordan's fine. He didn't need to do that on this one. And, so just go through, color everything up. Kind of reminds me of Little Rascals. We should have put it in black and white, all fast motion and stuff, like those old school films. So I think he's working with 3 different colors there. And, 2 of them are pretty close together, like the browns. And then flip the molds over, and we use bun pan, so we work inside the bun pan, so you just flip it over in the bun pan and dump out all the excess pigment, so you don't get too much in there, because if you get too much, you're going to get little tiny holes, and it's going to look funny. And then again, right before you do your concrete mix, as he's ready to do his concrete mix, make sure you release your skin with the petroleum jelly, and make sure you get it really good underneath your fingernails, because that concrete will get up into your fingernails and it'll mess you up. If you can wear gloves, but Jordan didn't want to wear gloves, so instead of wearing gloves, he's using a petroleum jelly glove. Make sure when you add your water, especially if you're not used to making a concrete mix, you just add it little by little. Don't go overboard and just dump a whole bunch of water in there, because you can always add more water, but you can't take the water out. You're going to have to add more. If you add too much water, you're going to have to add more cement and your whole concrete mix into your mix, and it's going to mess up your ratios, and you're going to have issues. So just add a little water at a time. There's no rush. Take your time. When you get more experience and you can measure out your water, you can dump it in there. But even then, you still want to work it in a little bit. It's just it's just a good habit. And you'll see how the mix should look. You should never make a watery mix. That's how your mix should look. If you make a watery mix where it's just dripping through your hands, it's way too watery. It'll be cheaper in cost if you make it with a lot of water, but you're getting what you pay for. You're getting cheaper stones. So make sure you make good quality stone veneer to where it's not going to break down. You have to remember the water content that you add to stone veneer, water doesn't stay in the stones when it's finished. That water has to evaporate and leave, and when it evaporates, it leaves little micro pores inside your concrete, which will cause tons of problems. You get all kinds of, vibrate the molds for 30 to 45 seconds if you're doing it by hand. If you're using a machine vibrator, you're probably hitting right around 15 to 20 seconds. You want to make sure you go through and you rough up the backs of the stones after you vibrate, so they can stick on the wall better during installation. And that's very important to do. Make sure you rough up the back of the stones. And then a few hours later, you go back in and get ready to pull the stones out. You want to break the stones free by just breaking them up individually, and we call it the skeletons. You want to break the skeleton of the stones up to free them up individually, and then cap it with a bun pan, or you can use wood. Plywood works too. Flip it over, and yeah, and also it'll save you a ton of time for cleanup if you're using bun pans. All you have to do is just dump the excess concrete into the bun pan. You'll see it'll just fall into the pan itself already, and then you don't have to worry about sweeping up or cleaning up too much in the end. And then you just peel the molds away from the stones. And Jordan's trying to stay out of the camera, but if the camera wasn't there, he'd be right over it to where there's really no stress on the stones. If you use really rigid urethane molds where you can't bend it like this, the stress goes into your stones. And not only that, you're going to have to use a release agent, which mutes your texture and things like that. So if you want to use good molds, even if you don't buy our molds, make sure you make yourself some really super flexible stone veneer molds. And they'll come out like this. There's no bug holes in these stones. This is his first try. No bug holes, no nothing. Just they came out great. So we took them outside. I like to hit them up with water just to get rid of the excess iron oxide pigment, and also to show you guys how much the pigments went into the stone. These stones are fresh, and they're still holding the pigment. There's no issues with it at all. It's in there, and you'll see once we go to the next shot. When the stones are dry, you'll see the benefit of adding a base color to your concrete mix, and you'll actually get a fourth color. If Jordan would have added a base color, we told him not to, but if he would have added a base color, then there would have been a fourth color underneath the stones that have been coming through. So you see all the light areas there, where you can see look at the texture and the grain. But all the light areas there would have been the base color coming through. This base color is just regular old gray cement. But say if you made a brown one or whatever color you want to make, that would be coming through on all the light spots. So now you guys can understand, because I get a lot of people asking me about base colors and things like that, and what is the base color and what do you benefit from it. This is how you benefit from it. So you can play around with that and mess around with your base colors, and you'll see it'll come through. And also when your stones get scratched, they look good. So that's pretty much it, folks. Visit our website, stonecasterstudio.com. We have a how-to page there for more basic information. You can see the description below if you want to get a hold of the John Hodges at the Eagle Color and Blending. Just tell him Stonecaster Studio sent you, and he'll know exactly what to do for you. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, folks. Happy stone making.